Take the risk right out of it. Wake up, stand up, snap out of it. Change your mind, begin again. Just snap.
Get my box here. Okay, go. What? You never seen anybody in a box before? Well, just take a look to your left. Now take a look to your right. You see, we all have our boxes in life, don't we? Now, we may not actually see our boxes, but we certainly do feel them, don't we? In here, in our heart, we know without a doubt that we have the talent and we have the ability to do more, to be more. But it's in here. It's in here where we get boxed in and convinced to play small. Now, I was the queen of playing small. For 24 years of my 25-year corporate career, I was an alcoholic, a blackout drinker, a 3-bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon a night drinker. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Dang, she looks good. Well, the good news is, in the last 10 years, I have found sobriety, a different calling on my life, but even more than that, I have found the secret and the strategy to long-lasting change and fulfilling success. And today, that is what I want to share with you. I want to share with you the exact same strategies that I used and that you can use to kick your box to the curb and start playing big in your life despite any mistakes that you might have made, any roadblocks, any setbacks, or any failures. Can I get a snap yes? Okay, when I say snap yes, I want you to say snap yes. Okay, can I get a snap yes? Snap yes. Can I get a snap yes? Snap yes. Well, yes, you can get a snap yes, and I'm going to tell you how, because I have a brand new book. It is called Snap Yes, The Art of Seeing New Achievable Possibilities in Your Business and Your Life. If you would like that book, you can go to my website, DeeDeeMercerMoffitt.com. For this group and this group only, you will get anything on my site for 40% off. You can just use that code Big Snap, okay? Remember that, Big Snap, all right? Well, let's get started. Listen, if you want to make a change in your life, for any change program to really take hold and to have lasting impact, whether that change is designed for an organization of 200 people or 2 people, there has to be one thing. The first step, the very first step that anybody must do before they start a change program is they've got to define their suckitude. Okay? You've got to know what it is in your business or your personal life that is causing your life to suck instead of being snaptastic, right? You've got to get really clear on that. You've got to know what the problem is so you can fix it. So the first thing is you want to define your suckitude. Now listen, this is a group of very, very, very smart people. I can tell by just looking at you, this is an extremely intelligent group. But sometimes smart people like you don't realize that you are keeping yourself stuck in the box and causing the suckitude of your life to increase. And you do that with just one little word. Do you know what that word is? That word is no. Oh, no. No. I can't do that. No, I'm too old to change now. No, I don't need to go on that tour. No, I'm going back to my room and channel surfing. Right? Do you even know why you say no to all of the things that you say no to in a given day? Or has it just become this automatic response? So here's my challenge to you as you are here at this conference. Think about why you are saying no. The second strategy, if you want to start playing big in your life, is you want to put the brakes on the no. Wait a second, why am I saying no? I don't want to go on that Halloween tour tonight. Why am I saying that? And I want you to pause and ask yourself this question. Will my no possibly cause me to miss out on some valuable and strategic relationships that can help my business in the future? If I say no, will I miss out on learning about some new processes and some new procedures that will affect my bottom line? If I say no, is it possible that I can relieve some stress by laughing and having fun with my peers? And if the answer is yes, then I want you to put the brakes on your nose. Can I get a snap yes? Can I get a snap yes? I can't tell you how many emails I get from people who have said, you know what, Dee Dee, I put that snap yes thing into play. My wife, I just did a talk for a trucking parts industry. One of the guys there came up to me and he said, you know what, Dee Dee, I hate to travel outside of the U.S. My wife wanted to go to Africa. And I said, no, I don't want to go to Africa. And he said, but I remembered what you said. He said, I said, snap yes. We went, and he said, oh my goodness, I had such a wonderful time. It opened my eyes up to a great new possibilities in life. So if you want to start playing bigger in life, you want to be more fulfilled in life, I want you to put the brakes on your no. And listen, sometimes that means that you are going to need to say yes to things that scare you, okay? Now, don't think that I don't take my own advice. I really do think that if people are going to get up and speak, they should walk their talk, right? Recently, it was my husband's birthday, and, I just plainly forgot to plan anything, if you want to know the truth. But I said, okay, listen, honey, I tell you what, anything you want to do, anything at all, you tell me, I'll be glad to go do that with you. He gets this really mischievous look on his face, right? And I'm thinking, couple spa, romance. And he says, skydiving. You want to go skydiving? Well, my inside voice said, are you smoking crack? No, I don't want to go skydiving. But I remembered this snap yes thing, so I said, sure, honey, let's do it. He was so excited that he ran off and he booked it for the following weekend, which was in 2 days, mind you, all right? So my stomach is going into knots, my hands are sweating, and I do what we all do when we are scared to death in life and when we are looking for some real answers. I started Googling, right? Googling. And I said, how many people die jumping out of a plane, right? It was really interesting what I found out about skydiving. Did you know that skydiving is relatively safe? It is. There's only a 1 in 100,000 chance that you are going to die jumping out of a plane, as opposed to a 1 in 6,000 chance that you're going to die driving to work. Yeah, that's a true stat. So I'm thinking that we should all just start parachuting into work. I mean, it would be a lot safer for us, right? But the weekend comes all too soon, and we are up in that plane with a bunch of crazy people. Crazy. I mean, they are laughing, they are high-fiving, bodies are being sucked out the back of that plane, right? all of a sudden I hear my jump master. He says, Dee Dee, time to move towards the back of the plane. I said, where all those bodies are being sucked down? No, I'm good right here. And then all of a sudden I feel my body and it's involuntarily moving towards the back of the plane, and I look down, realizing I'm strapped to him tighter than a helpless baby to its mama's chest, right? So I am going out the back of that plane. And now I'm looking around for my husband. Where is Rick? Where is he? And oh, yeah, I find him behind me, waving at me. We've never done this before, but he's going to let me go first, right? What a gentleman. We go flying out the plane. I am screaming at the top of my lungs. Ah! First thought in my head was this: Dee Dee, do not pee. Because the way you're falling, you're going to pee up all over your instructor. You do not want to do that. But here's what I found out. I loved it. I loved it so much we jumped again and again and again. So before you say no, think about saying snap yes. It will open up your eyes to a whole new world that you never knew existed. Can I get a snap yes? And if you continue to say snap yes, the next strategy will be so easy for you. The next strategy is this: commit. Commit to taking weekly leaps of faith. Weekly leaps of faith. That means every single week. You got 7 days. Pick one day. Pick one day that you say, no, today is the day that I'm going to say yes to this thing that I'm scared to death to do. If you do that one time every week, can you imagine at the end of the year, you've done 52 things that you thought you couldn't do? Can you imagine how big that you are going to be playing at the end of the year? Take weekly leaps of faith to expand your comfort zone. Now, some of you are sitting there and you're saying, well, come on, Dee Dee, of course I would like to say yes. I mean, who wouldn't want to be happier, healthier, wealthier? But you don't know me, Dee Dee. You don't know me and my situation. I mean, I've tried, but something always gets in my way. And I would say, yes, you are right. And something will always get on your way, because the path to success, the path to happiness is paved with obstacles. And it doesn't matter whether you're Beyonce or Barack Obama. You are going to have obstacles in your life, but truly successful and happier people, you know what they do with those obstacles? They see them differently. They don't see them as a stop sign that says, crawl back in your box. What they see is a growth challenge. They see them as new opportunities. Our job, if we want to play bigger in life, we must take those obstacles and find a way to go around them, to go over them, to go through them, to go under them. See your obstacles different. And one obstacle that I would like for you to see differently today is this obstacle that stops so many people. It is this obstacle that you may not have thought about. It is the obstacle called regret. Right? We do not want to regret a decision that we make. So you know what we do? Nothing. We do nothing. And you cannot play big if you don't move forward and around those obstacles. Can I get a snap yes? Yes. Not all regret is bad. And I want to tell you that I do not believe in the slogan that says no regrets. I don't believe in that, because I think we do have regrets in life. But here's the thing, not all regrets are bad. The University of Illinois did a study on regret. They wanted to see, how does it really affect our life? They had a study with 370 people. a very good sampling of people. Ages in this study range from 18 to 103. There were rich people, there were average people, and there were poor people. Very good sampling. What they found was that there were two types of regret. The first type of regret was the regret that we call the regret of taking action. In this study, there were people who regretted starting a business. They saw this travel business and they said, oh my gosh, that looks like so much fun to have my own travel business. And then they got in there and saw how much work it was and said, that's really not for me. They may have regretted the time and the energy they put in there. There were other people who had gone to college. They had gotten a degree based on what their parents wanted instead of what they wanted. So they had regretted taking that avenue. There were many regrets for relationships, regrets for living in a certain part of the country. But here's the thing about that type of regret. They learned something very valuable about themselves. They learned what their strengths were, what their weaknesses were, what they liked and what they didn't like. They took that information, they tweaked it, and they started down another path. The great Henry Ford, believe it or not, had a string of failed businesses before he took a look at what he was doing and said, listen, I'm going to start this assembly line mode of production. He changed the car industry forever. He did not jump back in his box and say, no, I can't do it. Regrets are not all bad, but I will tell you one regret that has no value. It's sort of like eating candy. Tastes really good, has no value. This is the regret of inaction. Right? You have a dream, you have a goal, you have an idea, you want to step up, you want to speak up, but you know what you do? Nothing. Or maybe you do take a few steps, but then when it gets scary and it gets hard and you encounter an obstacle, you know what you do? You jump back in the box and you play small. Does anybody know that type of regret? Well, I will admit, I do. Because you see, as a little girl, I knew exactly what I was meant to do. I knew what I wanted to do, and that was I wanted to be on Broadway every night. Barbara Streisand and Judy Garland and I, man, we would entertain adoring fans for hours on end. People who need people. Oh my gosh, I loved it. I loved it so much. Thank you so much. But you know what? I did take action. I took voice lessons, I took acting lessons, I took dance lessons. I was in all the musicals in high school. I was in all the choirs. Even won a vocal scholarship to the exact same college that Broadway star and my hometown girl, Kristin Chenoweth, attended. You guys know Kristin, right? Of course you do. Now listen, I have no doubt that Kristin, she encountered the exact same fears, the exact same challenges that I did when I got to college. But you know what Kristin did? Kristin did something wicked. Kristin said, yes, I will audition, even when they say you're not pretty enough for the part. She said, yes, I will keep putting myself out there, even though I don't like to be criticized and judged. Yes, I will keep going for my dream because I believe in my talent and my abilities. But you know what I did? I started looking around and oh gosh, no, I don't think I'm as talented as Sally over there, and I don't like being judged and criticized, and I don't want to be embarrassed, and I started listening to this voice inside of my head, this very critical voice, this voice that sounded a whole lot like Betty Davis. And Betty was like, oh, Dee, darling, you be a Broadway star? Oh my gosh, you're an idiot. And I regret that I listened to Betty. I know that I should have told her to bite me, but I listened to her, and I walked away from my lifelong dream. And for the next 24 years, I tried to drown out her voice and the pain of my regrets. Now, each and every one of you sitting out here today, you have a voice inside of your head, do you not? Now, your voice may not sound like Betty Davis. Your voice in there, it may sound like, I don't know, Judge Judy, Hillary Clinton, or Donald Trump. I don't know who the voice in your head sounds like, but we all have that voice. And I want to tell you this. Trying to drown out that voice with alcohol, with food, with texting, with tweeting, with Facebook, it doesn't work. And you can't ignore that voice. But I found a strategy that does work. A strategy is you've got to snap back at Betty. You've got to take action. You do not let Betty have the final word on your success. Right? Right? Are you feeling me? Are you feeling me? Can I get a snap yes? Yeah, that's right. So when Betty says this, when Betty says, oh, you're not really going to present that idea to your committee. I mean, you haven't checked that idea out. It's not really proven yet. I mean, you're going to look stupid. You snap back at Betty and you say, Betty, you know what stupid is? Stupid is missing out on opportunity because I'm afraid of making mistakes or failures. That's what's stupid, Betty. And when Betty says, oh, you're not really going to try to change and play big at this age, are you? I mean, change is hard. Come on, get over it. You say, listen, Betty, I tell you what, change is good. Change is good because you know why it's good, Betty? Because if you don't change, you know what happens? You become a sheeple people. Sheeple people. These were people that used to have a goal, they used to have a dream, but they got scared, crawled in the box, and now they just blindly follow that furry little butt in front of them. And believe me, that is a bad idea, ladies and gentlemen. All right? All right, so you've got to snap back at Betty. You got to snap back. Now, some of you, you're sitting there and you're saying, I don't know. I think I'm already pretty successful. Yeah, I think I got this whole thing figured out. Betty doesn't bother me. I'm good. I know it all. I'm successful. Well, let me tell you something about success. It has a real potential to suck you back into the box. Do you know what I mean? You see, when we get to a certain level, when we arrive, we don't need to learn anything new, right? We know it all. We get comfortable. We fall into a routine. And that's when you can start playing small all over again. Now, I want to tell you a little story about a man who was super duper successful, really successful. His name is Mo Cheeks. Maurice Cheeks is his full name, but his nickname is Mo Cheeks. Does anybody recognize that name? Who's Mo Cheeks? Oh, he went to school with you. Well, snap out of it. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. So you know Mo. Mo, at this time of this story, was the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, NBA team. He was an NBA basketball player. You look like you played basketball. Did you play basketball? You played football. Well, I was going to say that. I was going to say you look just like a football player to me. But Maurice Cheeks, he was really successful. He is the head coach. On this particular night, he has a playoff game against the Dallas Mavericks. It is a do-or-die game. really, really important. Now, Mo could have said, I've got my job. I'm successful, and I'm not going to do anything outside of my job description. But what Maurice did on this particular night would change the lives of not only a 13-year-old girl, it would change the lives of his team and everyone who saw him step out of the box that night. This is what playing big looks like. Oh, it is right
here. And now to honor America and salute the men and women serving our country with our national anthem, please welcome, as voted by you, the fans, our winner of the Toyota Get the Feeling of a Star promotion, Natalie Gilbert.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the stars like stars? Stars like last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, and the singing air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wasn't that fabulous? I love this story. I love it so much because Mo Cheeks wasn't a singer. I mean, that was obvious, right? And I'm certain that many coaches would have said, well, I'm sorry that that little girl has lost her words and has lost her place, but I've got a job to do. I'm the head coach. But Mo, he saw new achievable possibilities. He saw a new way to demonstrate leadership that night. He stepped outside of his box, and he changed the lives of so many people that night. This was back in 2003. At that time, pastors wanted a copy of this tape, teachers wanted a copy of this tape, moms and dads wanted a copy of this tape. It was a real teaching moment of how to always be snapping, as I call it. That's the next strategy, is to always be looking for new ways to serve in your community, to serve your customers, to serve your clients. He served his team in a way that he never even thought about that night, right? Did you see what happened as Mo started singing? Her voice got more confident, and she began to sing out. And as she began to sing out, his team, Mo's team, all joined in singing. Then the opponent's coach, and then the opponent's team. Everybody came together because of that one simple act of Mo stepping outside of the box. Careful that once you reach a certain level of success, that you don't let that success rock you to sleep. Don't get comfortable. Constantly be snapping. Be looking for ways to see new achievable possibilities to serve the clients and customers that you have and that new generation that is coming up. Can I get a snap? Yes. Can I get a snap? Yes. Now, I know that a lot of you, you're going to walk out of here and you're going to say, snap, yes, I'm going to start taking that leap of faith. I'm just, well, not today. Yes, I'm going to tell Betty to bite me. I'm going to do it. I'm just, well, not today. Not today, I'm not. You know what I call you guys? I call you my box bargainers. You're my box bargainers. You see, I know you because, well, I was you. I was going to quit drinking, of course. I'll quit drinking right after. We got that happy hour tomorrow night, so I'll quit drinking after that. Oh, wait a minute. Next week, we've got that retreat, so I'll quit drinking after that retreat. And you see, I played that bargaining game for 24 years. Box bargainers. It's not that you're bad people. You're great people. It's just that, well, you know, you need a guarantee. I mean, you want to know. You want to know, right? Diane, you talked about that crystal ball. You want that crystal ball. You do not want to regret your decision. Am I right? But I will tell you, over the last 10 years, one thing I have discovered is if you want to play big, if you want to overcome your roadblocks, your setbacks, and your failures, the only ball you need in life are big balls of courage. You need big balls of courage. Or hippity hops, either one. All right? Now, I'm going to give these away, and these are your touchstones that when you go back to wherever you came from, you're going to look at this and you're going to say, Dee Dee said I need big balls of courage. Here's my big balls of courage. Two people, run up here and grab these right now. Come on. Who's got the courage? Come on. Okay. She was coming. Y'all fight it out. Okay, can we just fight that out? Okay, good job. You got to have courage if you want to grab life by the horns, and you must have courage if you are going to be successful in life. Why do you need courage? Because success and real happiness is going to require that you make some tough decisions. And if you cannot make tough decisions in life, you will sell yourself short. You will settle for a life that you never intended to live. If you cannot make tough decisions, you will create vulnerabilities inside of your company. You will weaken your team, your brand, and your bottom line. I would like for you to walk out of here today with a new perspective on tough decisions. So let me tell you about a tough decision that I faced. And let me tell you this, I did not want this tough decision. But it is a decision that changed my life. It was on a Friday the 13th, back in 2007. And I happened to be at a conference very much like this. I was in my corporate career, selling into credit unions and banks. And at that same conference, my fiance was there. He was also in that same industry. Now, we were just months away from this beautiful oceanfront wedding that we had planned. Everything is paid for. Everyone is coming. It is all set up. But I did what I always did after a tough day at the office. And that night, I had 13 glasses of wine. The morning after, that 13 glasses of wine, act like a fool, pass out on the table, drink fest. My fiance came to me, and even though he loved me, even though everything was paid for, everything was set, he came to me and he said, goodbye. Now, it does not matter whether you are the one making a tough decision or whether you are on the receiving end of a tough decision. It is painful, is it not? But tough decisions are called tough decisions because they're hard and they're uncomfortable. But I want to tell you this, that tough decisions do not mean bad, do not mean wrong. Tough decisions do not mean there will not be a great day ahead of you. If you want to play big in life, if you want to overcome roadblocks, setbacks, and failures, then remember this. There is value in tough decisions because each one of you are going to face a tough decision. Whether that is tomorrow, whether that is next week, whether that is next year, a tough decision is coming your way. But when that tough decision comes, here's what I'd like for you to do. I'd like for you to not resist it and not look at it in a negative light. I would like for you to change your snaptitude. Change your snaptitude. Take a big, deep breath and step back and start looking for the possibilities to come from that tough decision. Because I would tell you this, tough decisions, if you analyze your life, if you look back on your life, certainly when I look back on mine, that tough decision most of the time will shoot you down a path, a better path, a path of success, a path of happiness, a path that you were too afraid to take before. Can I get a snap yes? Yes. Now, I will tell you that I was very, very fortunate that that fiance ended up sticking with me. He happens to be my husband who is here with me today. He's standing right over there. Yes. And one of the biggest reasons that I'm here today, and we make a pretty good team, don't we, honey? At Snap Yes. Snap Yes. Train them right. Well, speaking of teams, hey, do we have any baseball fans in here? We've got to have, right? Go Cubs, right? Chicago? We must have the Cleveland Indians. Yeah. Who else? Any other fans? Detroit Tigers? I love those Detroit Tigers. Well, here's the thing. I'm a huge, huge New York Yankees fan. Oh, yes, I am. And primarily because my uncle happens to be Bobby Mercer. I don't know if you know who Bobby Mercer is, but my uncle played for the New York Yankees. He went up when I was just 3 years old, and he stayed with the Yankee organization for 40 years. He played with some of the greats like Roger Maris, Mickey Mantle, Thurman Munson. So I've met a lot of these guys throughout my life, and I love the Yankees, but I love athletes, and I'm fascinated about how their minds work. You know, they are mentally tough. They are mentally strong. But you know what they do that I love so much? They use their emotions. They use their emotions to help them move forward. I think in business, we could learn a lot from our athletes. I was just reading a business article. The title of the article was, Why Change Programs Fail? And it had 6 reasons. Do you know what the number 6 reason was in that article? That people in business underestimate the power of emotions. Athletes know how to use their emotions to move through roadblocks, setbacks, failures, and to help them reach their goals and their dreams. I saw this play out in real life back in 1979. It was when the Yankees and my uncle, they were playing against the Baltimore Orioles. Now, what made this game different from all the others? Well, earlier in the day, the Yankees had chartered a plane. They had flown to Canton, Ohio, to bury their captain, the heart and soul of their team, their catcher, and my uncle's best friend, Thurman Munson. Thurman had been killed earlier in the week as he was practicing touch and go landings in his own plane. But the Yankees were in a series against Baltimore, so they had to get on the plane immediately after the funeral and head back to New York. On the plane, Yankee manager Billy Martin came to my uncle and he said, "Bobby, listen, we've been talking and we know that you've been up for days and you just delivered the eulogy and you're worn out. You know what, Bobby, we think that maybe you should sit the game out tonight." And Bobby looked at Billy and he said, "No, Billy, I don't feel tired. And I want to play this game tonight. I want to play it in the spirit of my friend. I want to honor Thurman tonight." So they played him. And the Yankees, yes, they were down. They were down physically, and they were down in the score. It's the bottom of the 7th inning, and Baltimore is leading the Yankees 4-0. There are 2 men on base. There are 2 outs and 2 strikes against my uncle as he steps up to bat. And no doubt, he was tired and he was worn out, but you know what? He loved Thurman Munson. He wanted to honor Thurman Munson. So he waited, and when he got his pitch, he stepped forward, he connected with the ball, it goes back, way back. Yes! It is a 3-run home run. Oh my. He has just brought the Yankees within 1 run of the Baltimore Orioles. That stadium is on fire. New life has been breathed into everyone. New hope. Now it's the bottom of the 9th. Yankees are still down by 1 run. There are 2 men on base. Happens to be the same 2 guys that were there at the bottom of the 7th, Bucky Dent, Willie Randolph. Guess who steps up to the plate? My Uncle Bobby. And this time, he is focused. He is clear on what he came to do. This time, he slaps it right down the third baseline. Both runners score. The Yankees win that game that night. The man that they weren't going to play helped in all 5 runs to help win the game that night. The great Howard Cosell was announcing that game, and he said that game was won on pure emotion. Use your emotions. Use your emotions to reach your goals and your dreams. Get emotional. They will move you past those roadblocks, those setbacks, and those failures. They will move you through those tough times. I loved and admired my Uncle Bobby, and he never ceased to amaze me. On Christmas 2006, it was Christmas Eve. My uncle had gone to the doctor because he had been having severe headaches. He went in for an MRI, and he got the call on Christmas Eve, and his doctor said, "Bobby, you have a brain tumor." He had a glioblastoma brain tumor, one of the fastest and most aggressive types of cancer. But I want to tell you what, do you know what got Bobby through those chemo treatments? Do you know what fired him up every single day? Do you know what vision he held in his mind? He wanted to stay alive long enough so that he could announce just one game in that brand new Yankee Stadium that they were building. Now, I will tell you this. He did not make it. He passed away 9 months before that stadium was finished. But what I saw in my uncle ignited a fire in me, and it rekindled a vision that I had had, a vision that I had had when I was a little girl. And that was to sing the national anthem for the New York Yankees. And I thought, oh my gosh, is is it possible? I mean, that I could, in my late 40s, a recovering alcoholic who hadn't sang in 20 years, could I possibly go to Yankee Stadium, sing the national anthem, and honor my Uncle Bobby? Well, I didn't know if it was possible, but I hired a voice coach, you know? I just hired a voice coach, and I got really excited, and man, I was just running around singing the national anthem at home all the time, walking down the street in the grocery store. And I want to tell you this, when you get excited, don't you know that people come out of the woodwork to help you reach your dreams? Exactly what happened to me. 2009, Yankees are in the World Series against the Philadelphia Phillies. And Rick and I, we are at home. We are getting all Yankeed up, right? We are getting ready to watch this on TV. We got our Yankee shirts, Yankee hats, Yankee bracelets. We put the dogs in their Yankee gear. And I hear Rick, he says, Dee Dee, I want you to sing the national anthem for the Yankees tonight. And I said, what? He said, can you come in here for a second? So I walk in our dining room, and he's got me this mock stadium set up. I mean, complete with Yankee fans. Well, it's just actually candlesticks with Yankee hats on it, but I mean, it was really great. And he's got the video camera, and he says, now, Dee Dee, listen, I want you to sing the national anthem just like you would if you were in Yankee Stadium. But let me announce you first, Dee Dee. So he flips on the camera, and he says, ladies and gentlemen, will you please direct your attention to the dining room where the niece of the late, great Bobby Mercer will now be performing tonight's national anthem. So he gave me the cue, I belted it out, and he wrapped it up, he produced it, and he threw it out there on YouTube. And just seeing that got me really, really excited. But because my husband is a big, big player, and he understands how to do things bigger, he said, well, I tell you what, Dee Dee, let's do something even bigger. Let's send it to the New York Yankees. And I wanted to say no, but you know what I said? That's right, I said snap yes. I said snap yes, and I started getting prepared because let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when opportunity knocks, you do not want to answer the door naked. It is not a good vision, okay? All right, well, listen, my goal today was to help you find a way to play big, encourage you to kick your box to the curb. And that's why I want you to remember these as you leave here, these 7 strategies to help you play big in life. The first one, remember to define your suckitude. Very, very important. Secondly, we're going to be listening at this conference to see if you're saying snap yes or heck no. All right? You want to snap back at Betty. Don't let her get in your head. Don't let her have the last word on your life. Always be looking for ways to expand your reach, to do things differently. All right? Get out of that box. Value those tough decisions that are coming your way. Lean into them. Don't back away from them. And last, use emotionals to get to your goals faster. Remember, you can use code BIGSNAP if you go to my site and get 40% off. Before I go, I do want to tell you that I know without a doubt that these strategies work. How do I know? Because I got that call. I got that call from the New York Yankees. And in June of 2011, I walked onto one of the biggest stages I have ever stood on. I was able to go to Yankee Stadium and sing the national anthem and honor my uncle's legacy in front of 40,000 people. Don't wait 24 years to snap out of it like I did. Listen, some of you don't have 24 years, so you're going to have to snap out of it right now. All right, until we meet again, can I get a snap yes? Thank you so much. Thank you.